guys, I am going to apologize right now if this video is kind of echoey. I am sitting on the bathroom floor right now recording this. There is a reason, I'm not just in here for fun. The apartment that Andre and I are in, the lights in the rooms are not very good and we don't have lamps or anything. So when it gets dark outside, there's like literally no light in the apartment. And I mean, Andre has studio lights for his live streaming setup, but he's live streaming right now, so I cannot use them, and here we are in the bathroom. But today I wanted to do a story time kind of video on why I dropped out of university, because I know a lot of you guys ask about school and if I went to school, if I'm in school, if I'm going back to school, and the story's a little bit too long for a Q&A, so I thought I would make a separate video about it. I don't even know where to start with this. Okay, I'll start in grade 12. So in grade 12, I was a really good student, honestly. I'm not even kidding, like I'm not just saying that. I got really good grades. I got like straight A's. I remember I got like 98% in law and I got 99% in law and 100% in crim, or maybe 98, something like that. And I won the crim and law award because of that. Criminal Minds, if you're hiring. So yeah, I did really good in grade 12, better than any of my previous years. Part of the reason was I was kind of like struggling with some mental health problems in grade 12, so I just kind of stayed at home all the time, didn't hang out with anyone really, and just did my homework. And obviously that's not the most fun thing to do, but I got really good grades, so that was the plus side of it. So yeah, I did well in grade 12. I applied to a ton of different universities, and obviously because my grades were so good, I got into pretty much everywhere I applied to. Yeah. And I also got scholarships everywhere I applied to. I got like this full ride scholarship to the University of Victoria, and I was considering going there, but I knew a lot of people that were going there. And I know that like that shouldn't be a bad thing. That should be a good thing, if anything. But for some reason, I just didn't want to go to a school that I knew people that were going there. I wanted like a fresh start. I wanted to go somewhere different, somewhere I'd never been. So for my first year of university, I decided to go to the University of Alberta, which is in Edmonton. And before this, I had never been to Alberta. Not like never been to Edmonton, I had never been to Alberta. I didn't know anyone there. I didn't have any friends, like nothing. But I picked that. I got a scholarship there as well. Like it wasn't as big of a scholarship as the other university, but I was like, I want to go there, somewhere new, somewhere different. So I decided to go to the University of Alberta in Edmonton, and I was just studying general biology. Yeah. I kind of went into school thinking that I wanted to be a marine biologist, so I started taking science classes, and honestly, my first year, it was fine. Like, I really enjoyed it. Out of the 3 universities I went to, yes, I went to 3. I went to 3 universities in 3 years. So I feel like I'm a university expert at this point. Like I should write a book reviewing universities. Like I'm gonna start giving Yelp reviews for universities. If I were to give this university a Yelp review, honestly, it would have been 4 out of 5 stars. I loved it there. It was cold. It is cold in Edmonton, so that was kind of a downside. But other than that, I mean, I did pretty well. I didn't really study too much. I never studied in high school. I would just kind of naturally do pretty well. So I kind of did the same thing in university, and everyone's like, you're not gonna do well if you do that. You know what? I did fine. I wouldn't recommend it though. Definitely study, do your homework, do everything. But anyways, that year kind of came to an end, and I was planning on staying there. I mean, I liked it. It was fine. And part of the reason why I liked it so much was I could honestly be myself there. Like it was kind of like a fresh start. Overall, had a really good year there, and the year came to an end. We did our exams, everything. When I was planning on coming home, my mom told me a few days before that she had something to tell me, but she wasn't going to tell me while I was in Edmonton, so I was like, okay. I kind of thought that it might be something though, because she didn't really talk to me too much for the last week or so when I was there. Like I would call her and she seemed different. She seemed off. Like it seemed like there was something wrong. So I was a little bit concerned, but I was like, it's probably nothing big. I get home, I get to the airport, and my mom tells me that my grandma has been diagnosed with colon cancer. And I talked about this a bit in my Draw My Life. If you guys didn't know, I was extremely close to my grandma. I mean, I didn't have a dad growing up, so I always say that I had like two moms. I had my mom and I had my grandma. And like my grandma would take me to like all my activities, and like I'd go there for breakfast every morning, everything. So I was so close with her. So when my mom told me this, I was devastated. I'm still sad about it every day, obviously. I still miss her every day. Like, I cry pretty much once a day. That's just life now. And I know I'm laughing about it now, but I don't want to like make a 20-minute long video of me crying, so we're gonna keep this upbeat. Yeah, she told me that. I was extremely upset, devastated, and I decided to move home and transfer to UBC, which is here in Vancouver. It's University of British Columbia, and went there for a year. And didn't really like it too much. It kind of like burst my whole idea of what university should be. These people, like, they don't care about learning. And I don't want to say everyone. Like, I know there are some people that go to university and they study hard and like they're so passionate about what they want to do, and I think that that is amazing. But when I went to UBC, it was just a bunch of kids taking Adderall for final exams. If you don't know what that is, it's a study drug. Obviously, don't do any drugs, but like, I don't know why anyone would take a study drug. Like, I've never tried it, so I don't know what it does, but why? Just study. I don't know, like all people cared about there were like grades, and I thought university was supposed to be like learning and then also getting good grades, but like learning and doing other things. And it was so competitive, like so competitive. So I can see why people were like that. I mean, the class averages were ridiculous, so like you had no choice. People cheated, but it kind of, I don't know, it disappointed me. Yeah, I didn't really enjoy UBC, and because of that, I didn't really go to my classes, and I didn't do any of my assignments except for my forestry class. I really enjoyed that class, and I think the teacher liked me the most because I'd always sit in like the front seat and like do all my assignments. Anyways, I like my forestry class, but everything else I just didn't care about. And also, with my grandma being sick, I just spent all of my time researching things online and looking up like alternative treatments for cancer, all sorts of stuff like that. Like, I would just spend all of my time researching rather than studying. Honestly, I learned way more online. So after that year, did not do too well. I failed math because I don't think I went to my final exam. And even if I would have gone, I would have failed anyways. I wasn't doing well. It was not looking good for me. I failed one class and just didn't do well in any of my other classes. So I thought, okay, I'm not gonna do well if I stay in Vancouver, so maybe I should go away for school again so that I can focus more on school. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Calgary. Different place again. So I transferred to the University of Calgary, which is also in Alberta. I wasn't there for too long. I didn't go for a whole year. I went for my first semester. I remember I like took a full load of courses, and then like a couple days after the drop deadline, I dropped all of them except for one, which was one night class. So I was in one night class and that was it, but because I dropped them after the deadline, I later found out that I still had to pay for the courses. But yeah, I was taking one course and I would fly home as much as I could. I almost flew home every weekend. I'd fly home like every other weekend because flights from Calgary to Vancouver were pretty cheap. I was working and stuff, so I would just fly home as much as I could. I realized that I couldn't concentrate on school, so that's also why I dropped the rest of my classes. But I thought, one night class, I can do that. And it was actually psychology, which I found very interesting. And for this year, I switched my major to psychology rather than biology, just for fun. I don't know, I was switching it up. I had no idea what I was doing. I did fine in that class. I think I got a B or a C+, so I passed it. It was good, but near the end of the semester, as it got closer to Christmas, my grandma was not doing well. I think I went home before Christmas break, but like a week before that, she just wasn't doing well. And I still remember, this doesn't really have anything to do with school, but I remember I was at work. I was a waitress at this restaurant called Joey's, which I did not like at all. It was mandatory to wear heels with like at least, was it at least an inch or at least 3 inches? Couldn't have been 3 inches. It must have been at least an inch, and you had to have noticeable makeup every time you worked, and your hair couldn't be up. Like, I go to hair obviously with my hair tied up because I thought, well, I don't want my hair getting in my food. And I remember I went in and I think one of the managers was like, you have to put your hair down. Like, if it's not straightened, go do it in the back. We have a straightener. And I was like, I didn't like it. But anyways, I think this was probably my last shift. No, I think I went a couple times after this because I had to give my 2 weeks notice, but this was like a week, 2 weeks before I went home. I was serving this table and their order got like screwed up, or I think like one thing was wrong on their order, and they were so rude about it. They didn't tip, they were just so mean, and I was like trying to be as nice as I possibly could, like just trying to like smile and be so sweet, and then they left. I think I went to the bathroom, but I didn't clear their table right away. This other waitress came up to me. I can't remember what she said, but it was something like so rude, like the rudest comment about like me not clearing their table and not doing something, or I don't even remember. She said that, and I just, in front of everyone, like in front of the whole restaurant, out in the open, just started bawling. Like, I just started crying, and not like one tear, like a little cry. Like, I started like crying, and I like ran to the back, and then like a manager came in and was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No." And then I told him that I can't work here anymore. So yeah, it was an emotional time. Anyways, back to the school story. So I went home about a week after, not too long after I got home, my grandma passed away. It was right before Christmas. That was actually a few days ago, which is why, I mean, I know you guys can't tell in videos because I'm pretty much the same in all my videos. I try and be very upbeat and happy, but I've not been in a good mood this past week. And I don't really like Christmas time anymore. I feel like the Grinch saying that, like I just feel so negative, but not in the Christmas spirit. So yeah, she passed away, and I just didn't sign up for courses next semester. I was like, I'm not going back. I just stayed home. Like, I didn't even move out because the place I was living was this like tiny 1-bedroom studio, like just tiny. I think it was like 300 square feet. It was so small, but like really cute. I actually liked it. It was furnished, so I didn't need to buy any furniture. So when I came home, I just brought all of my clothes and bathroom stuff back. I didn't have anything to move out, so I didn't go back to Calgary, and I just stayed home. Instead of going back to school for the second semester, I decided to go backpacking around Australia. 100% way better decision. I mean, don't do that. I'm not gonna tell you guys not to go to school and to go travel, but it's not the worst thing. I actually sold some jewelry when I got back, and that's how I was able to get a plane ticket, and I basically stayed there until I ran out of money. I had to change my flight to come back a little bit earlier because I ran out of money. I literally didn't have any money left, and I had to get to the airport, so I ended up walking like 4 hours because I couldn't cab because I didn't have money. But it was the best decision I could have made. I want to go back so bad. And I would definitely recommend backpacking. I know it's not the most glamorous way to travel, but it's just so liberating. Like, you realize how little you need. Like, I literally had one backpack. I had like a couple pairs of shirts, a bathing suit, a couple shorts, a pair of runners, and that was pretty much it. Runners and flip-flops, that was it. Like, I just had that. You don't need anything else. And I just like traveled around from hostel to hostel. It was exactly what I needed at that time. So I did that, and then I came home and realized, oh my goodness, I dropped my first semester classes after the deadline, so I had to pay for them. I ended up writing them this letter of appeal, being like, look, my grandma was really sick. I had to keep coming home to see her. Like, I wrote this extremely long letter kind of explaining why I dropped the classes, and I included like doctor's notes, I included copies of plane tickets. About a month later, I got this email. They replied being like, sorry, but your appeal has been declined. And that was just like the last thing. That's what kind of made me be like, you know what, I'm done with school. For now. I'm not saying I'm never gonna go back. And I understand people can't just be dropping courses all the time, but I don't know, maybe I thought that they would care. It really upset me because like I had an amazing support system, like my mom's my best friend, but it made me think, like, if that was someone else in a different situation who maybe just lost parent and they had no one, like, and then being stuck with your tuition, like, I don't know. And that kind of leads us to where we are now. I decided not to go back. I decided to take a year off and work. And while I was working in that year off, I met Andre, and a couple months after dating, he was like, you should try making YouTube videos, and I gave it a shot, and now we're here. But I wanted to say too, I'm not telling anyone not to go to school in this video. I think going to school is a smart thing to do. I think getting a degree, if you know what you want to do it. Like, don't not go to school. But also, if you even go to school for a year and find that it's not right, you don't need to finish it. I almost kind of felt obligated to finish it, and I honestly probably would have if my grandma didn't pass away. I would have just been like, whatever, I'll get like a bachelor's degree in general biology, because I thought that that's just what you had to do. You had to go to high school and then go to university and get a degree, get a job. But there's so many other things out there now. You don't have to do that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I'm saying if you find school's not for you, that's okay. And don't let anybody make you feel like you're not smart enough for dropping out or not going to university. Because I know when I tell people like I dropped out of university or whatever, they're kind of like, oh, well, she wasn't smart enough for that. It has nothing to do with how smart you are. I mean, anyone can do well in university. It's not a measure of how smart you are. It's a measure of how much time you're willing to put in to study to get good grades. Obviously, if you like want to be a doctor, I actually wanted to be a doctor. If you want to be a doctor, lawyer, go to school, become the best doctor you can be, become the best lawyer, become the best architect, become the best anything. But if you want to do something different, or if you want to take a few years off to figure out what you want to do, then do that. I don't know if this video made any sense. I feel like I was kind of just rambling for a little bit, but I wanted this to be kind of like how I would talk to a friend, you know, because I consider you guys my friends, and I hope you consider me your friend. And I feel like this topic is more of like a conversational topic. But yeah, maybe I'll go back to school eventually. I don't know, maybe I won't. We will see. That is gonna be it for today. If you guys want me to make any other story time videos, or if you guys want to know anything else, just let me know in the comments. But other than that, I hope you guys have had an awesome day so far, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!